Welcome back to the Dynamic Lifestyle Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our guest here, Nia Shanks. Nia, how are you doing today?
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you for having me on, guys.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day, especially on a Friday, to join us on our podcast. We appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
All right. So, Nia, we like to open up our podcast by getting to know who our guest is. So, can you tell us who Nia Shanks is and what your story is?
That is a very loaded question. I would say I would boil it down for most people to say I'm a coach, strength coach, and also a writer on my website. And my mission is to help women become the best version of themselves, primarily through sane, simple, hopefully empowering health and fitness information, and a little fun lifestyle information tossed in just to round things out a little bit. That's a very simplified version, but we'll stick with that unless you want to dive deeper. So.
No, I think that's great that you started off with that, because that's one of the biggest reasons, like, what really enticed me about your work was that you keep it simple and sane. That's exactly how we are, as coaches with our clients. So I want to know what really was the driving force behind that mission.
It actually kind of started, I actually started personal training when I was 18. I actually was training people before that for fun, not for business, obviously, for many reasons. It was something I fell into naturally because my mom was the first woman trainer in our area. And so I got into strength training from watching her. And then I was just training friends for fun, and then got into it as a career path. But it was more of going through a lot of personal experiences where I ended up battling binge eating and disordered eating habits, and then working out for the sole purpose of punishing myself for binge eating, hating how I looked. All I cared about was burning calories. So it was really that kind of dark period of time for me that, thankfully, coming out of that, I realized that that was a very, very destructive path. And I knew I needed to break away from that. And that's what really led to the health and fitness approach that I have nowadays, which is really an emphasis in regards to nutrition, about keeping things as sane and simple as possible. It's not about deprivation. It's not about misery, because doing those things for a lot of women, and in particular the women that relate to me, we know that for a lot of us, being really restrictive and obsessing over everything leads you down a very bad path. And I don't want women to experience what I've been through, or if they are in the middle of that, I want to show them that it's possible to get away from the obsessive mentality that a lot of diets and fads promote. And then combining that with what I really like to call an empowering approach to fitness, and helping women discover what their bodies can do, to tap into their physical strength, to expand upon it, to really use that time to make themselves feel better about themselves, and to make that journey enjoyable, because it's so easy to make working out exclusively about attaining some end goal. And I'm sure y'all might be able to relate to this at one point or another. And I'm sure anybody listening to this, it's easy to get stuck in that mindset going, oh my gosh, I'm doing this workout and it'll pay off, months down the road when I'm leaner, or I've got more muscle, or I'm stronger. And we just get so hooked on thinking about the future to where essentially we're not enjoying the moment itself. And I think that's a crucial part of the journey, is finding a way to make today's workout its own reward. And I think that can be accomplished by really putting a focus on your performance and seeing what you can do and doing a little better, and really finding a way to make it about, as I've said probably 28 times by now, becoming the best version of yourself. So that was a very long ramble. I don't remember the original question.
No, that was great. And that was very, very detailed, which we appreciate. And I kind of want to elaborate on the aspect when you talked about your dark days and you were going down that bad path. What was, 1 to 2 turning points that made you really just kind of wake up and be like, what am I doing?
It was just a lot of self-hatred.
Okay.
Doing that day in and day out. And, it was a miserable, worthless existence. And I knew I couldn't keep doing the same thing, which was at that point trying diets, hoping a diet would be my salvation, that would help me get out of the binge eating and help me love myself and help me build the perfect body and all of that stuff. And I just realized that I have to find a way to get out of that. And for me, it really was simplifying everything. I didn't follow diets. I didn't have a list of forbidden foods. I didn't have strict guidelines. I'm the kind of personality, I can't track everything I eat. I can't count calories without it leading me down a very dark road. Not everybody is this way, so I don't want anybody to misinterpret what I'm saying, that, I'm not suggesting everybody should do things my way, because a lot of people love counting calories. More power to you if that works for you. But for me, if I started doing that, I would get really quickly back into those old habits. So again, it was just about knowing I needed to get out of the really crappy, miserable pit of hell I was in, and understanding that I was in control, but I needed to start making some smarter choices and taking action and not overwhelming myself with change, because this is also really easy to do as well, to say, well, I'll change everything so I can hurry and get quick results. But I knew I needed to focus on a few basic things that I could do every day and be consistent with those few basic things, and then gradually add more. That's the approach that worked for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I liked how you touched on just how your personality trait isn't suited for, counting calories, counting macros. And that's the thing, like, a lot of people don't understand is, I think going forward with the research and everything, mental health is going to be huge. And I think, later down the road, we'll be able to figure out through personality types if a diet is suitable for somebody, because we've had clients where they're just, either balls to the wall or not, when it comes to being restrictive or all in or all out, So I think that's really, really crucial for people to understand that and understand what their personality is like, when it comes to like a nutrition program like that. Because like you said, it could take you down a really, really deep, dark rabbit hole,
Different things work for different people, and that's what I always try to tell people. If you're the kind of person that you love I have clients that they really like tracking calories. That's what helps them. They do it. I have people like me that, and I don't want to make it sound like I don't know what or I don't track or keep an eye on things. Like, I don't just eat whatever I want. Like, I do follow the basic guidelines of mostly real food, but I also allow myself to have other things that aren't super healthy or whatever you want to call them on occasion. And thankfully, I've practiced it enough that I know what works for me. Because most people, we eat routinely a lot of the same meals repeatedly, and if you can kind of get a good grasp on those main meals and make them good options, it really gets a lot easier to keep track of things in that way. So just kind of wanted to add that.
Yeah, you develop a skill set over time, kind of just eyeballing things and just understanding, what works for you, what certain foods don't. So yeah, I would agree with that too. So shifting to another question, you have a Facebook page by the title of Lift Like a Girl. Do you feel we are still kind of in that era where women are still afraid of going into the gym, lifting weights, getting bulky, putting on too much muscle?
I think in some ways the conversation is getting carried out needlessly. I think some people are still talking about it when it doesn't really need to be talked about, because the reality is some people, some women, some men even, they're never going to lift weights. Either they hate it or they just don't give a damn. It doesn't sound fun to them. And, but at the same time, I don't really think the conversation is as relevant, because now more than ever, you do see women strength training and trying new things. So I don't think it's a conversation really worth having, because if you're still terrified of getting big and bulky, I don't really know what to tell you other than just start strength training and go through the process and see what happens, and forget about all of the stupid myths and all the other crap, and focus on the good things that can happen instead of panicking about getting huge. So
yeah, I like that. It's such a clear, concise answer. Just no sugarcoating. So I agree too. It's like,
don't like sugarcoating.
It's like just do what you enjoy doing at the end of the day. Just like even when it comes to health and fitness, just like be active. You don't have to be in the gym pounding away weights. If you don't enjoy it, then it's not your cup of tea. Then don't do it. So
that is one of the best things, and that is a conversation I do enjoy having, where you'll see people telling women back in the day, you need to do cardio, and now don't do cardio, only lift weights, and don't run, and do Zumba and do yoga, and then people are confused saying, what should I do? And the answer essentially, as you just said, do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
If you hate weightlifting, cool, but go be active in some other way. If you love lifting heavy stuff, do it and don't apologize for it. So yes, definitely, whatever anybody wants to do, it is your body. Go on and have fun. Just hopefully do it safely.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so next question. So you've been featured in greatest.com, bodybuilding.com, Muscle and Strength. You've been named the 100 most influential people in health and fitness. So after all of this success, how do you stay pretty much still hungry? How do you not get that mindset where it's like, I've made it. I can just kind of sit back a little bit, put my head behind my head like this, kick my feet up, and I can just kind of relax. How do you just drift away from that mindset?
I haven't ever entertained that mindset. I haven't made it to anything, in my opinion. The thing that keeps me going is knowing I'm still helping people, and that's what keeps me focused. As long as I keep getting emails from customers who use my products or readers who have received help and have benefited from the articles I write, as long as I keep getting those emails, I'm going to keep going. And that's what keeps me motivated. Is I started years ago a document where anytime I get these messages, I copy and paste them. And that way, if I get really mean emails, which happens occasionally, or if I question why am I doing this, because you guys know this, I don't think, and I don't want to sound uppity by any means, but a lot of times people don't understand the amount of time it takes to make podcasts, to write articles, to put things together for free because you have the hosting. It's not, so sometimes, I don't know if y'all have ever been there, but I'm like, why am I doing this to myself?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But that document is what I look at. I'm like, this is what makes it all worth it, is knowing I'm helping people. And to me, the term success is determined by whether or not I am still helping people. So as long as I know I'm reaching people and connecting with people and helping them be the best version of themselves, or breaking away from obsessive habits and discovering how amazing strength training can be, and helping women love their bodies, not just for how they look, but for what they can do, that means I am succeeding. And to me, that is a constant process. It's not some kind of a destination I think I can ever reach.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up about the whole thing you said where, what the hell am I doing? Because, that's crossed both of our minds, like, for sure. I know it crosses other people's minds. And I think there was a mentor that told us one time that about 90% of the time you're going to question yourself, like, why are you doing this? And you're not going to really enjoy it. But then that 10% is where it sits there and overrides everything. So I'm sure when you look at that paper, that's that 10% right there just staring you right in the face saying, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. This is my calling, this is my vision.
Yeah, especially when you get the emails too. Just it's such a sense of gratitude. Yeah. Because you are you are at the end of the day helping somebody. So nothing beats that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so let's shift on to another subject. So Chris and I are really, really big advocates of daily rituals, kind of getting our day started, being very productive for the first 60 to 120 minutes. Can you tell us what your rituals are for that first 60 to 120 minutes, if you have any?
No, I do. It's a very, very simple ritual. I roll out of bed and I take my dog on a walk for, 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how much he wants to stop and sniff, or if he decides to bark at a turtle for 5 minutes. Because as we were talking before we started recording this, we had a house where I used to just open the door and let him run, but we sold the house because I didn't like owning a house, and now we live somewhere where I don't have that luxury. So, but I've actually come to really appreciate it because it helps me actually wake up. It takes me a while, and it's nice getting out and getting the fresh air, and that's what helps me get my day going. After that, it is coffee and reading to wake up my brain. So I need a little jump start in the morning. I don't just roll out of bed and yes, let's do stuff. It's a process. So walking and coffee is my ritual that leads me to be productive after that. So
what's your choice of coffee right now?
I like French press a lot. We make a lot of French press, and the darker the roast, the better. Okay. I like really, really, really dark, bold coffees. That is my jam.
Yeah. Nice. And so what does a typical day look like for you, after you do your morning routine?
It's usually a combination of writing, programming, doing a workout, probably writing, probably programming. It's kind of the same thing over and over. But I like it. It really helps me to know what I need to do to stay on target. And also a lot of editing in there too if it's articles. So sounds mundane, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are some flaws and weaknesses that have turned out to be strengths in some capacity?
Oh my.
That's a deep one.
Well, I don't know. My flaws or weaknesses that have turned out to be a strength. I would say the only way that they have been a strength for me is that they have shown me that change is possible, that growth is possible. I have for a long time, and still to this day, I can get really anxious, and that is a weakness because it can make me just stand still and stop in my tracks and not do anything at all. But learning that I can lessen that to some degree has been helpful, because I used to be kind of paralyzed by some of these things, thinking, oh, it's just the way it is, it's just the way I am, can't do anything about it. But I have realized that I can not necessarily get rid of those flaws, but I can at least, and Dr. Krista Scott Dixon put it really well before about neutralizing your weaknesses instead of trying to turn them into strengths like a lot of people do, because there are some things it's never going to be a strength no matter what you want to do. So it's taught me, my weaknesses have taught me patience, taught me perseverance, and just really given me the motivation to know that I can improve things, that things aren't just the way they are forever. You do have some control.
Okay, I like that too. It's interesting to neutralize your strengths.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Neutralize your weaknesses, strengthen your strengths.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I like that.
I may have said it wrong, so I got
No,
Like, Chris will get mad if I quote her wrong.
I'm gonna have to write that one down.
That's powerful.
Okay, so next question. Let's say that you had this huge billboard that you can put up anywhere in the world. What would you want that message to say, and why?
I thought about this, and it really depends on the mood, and it depends on the day. You know, some days I would want it to say, don't be an asshole, because I think the world needs a lot of that. But at the same time, I was like, well, something that could actually be beneficial instead of just don't be an asshole. But I think a really good one would be something to the effect of, and I'm taking this directly from Mark Manson, his book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Bleep. I don't know if you can throw the F-bomb on here.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a great book. And he discussed the fact that we all have problems. So you might as well choose which problems you want to have. And I think that would be really good on a billboard, because I think thanks to social media in particular, and just the way the world is now, we constantly have these images thrown in our face of people living a perfect life. They don't have any problems. It's just like freaking amazing every day, all day. Every day is epic. They're going hard and they're accomplishing stuff. And it makes us kind of assess our lives by those measures. And we think that the goal should be a problem-free life, when that's just not true, because we're always going to have problems. And kind of as Mark said, you know, choose which problems you want to have, and hopefully the goal is to constantly have better and better problems. You know, just like with health and fitness, if you want to get leaner or get healthier, your problem is going to be making time to do that workout, or breathing hard, or sweating. You know, you're always going to have some kind of a problem. So that's the long way of saying, the billboard would say you're going to have problems no matter what. At least choose which ones you want to have.
Yeah, I really like that, and I can't agree enough on the social media aspect. It's so misleading, and it's so phony at times. And you know, it's just, I try telling my clients, just don't compare yourself to other people on there. Just, you know, think about your story, your journey, and where you're at with life. I think that so many social media things just really create a lot of shame, people questioning themselves and saying, hey, I'm not worthy of this, I'm not worthy of that. So it's just an ongoing cycle, and it could be really, really just detrimental.
Yeah, we did a whole podcast on that, of social media ruining your body image, and it's just so powerful the way it's taken over everything.
Well, you see what people want you to see.
Yeah.
Right.
And only what they want you to see. So yeah, I mean, if all you see is somebody posting all of their living it up, I'm amazing, you know, if that's all you see, you think all of their life is just phenomenal, but they're not telling you about the days that are just okay and the days that are just crappy. And I wrote an article on that a while ago saying, you know, you're allowed to have, actually most of our days, they're just going to be typical days. That's life. Not every day is going to be absolutely just crazy and phenomenal. That's perfectly fine. It's part of life. So, whatever.
Yeah. No, that's great. I'm glad you brought that in. That's good stuff. All right, so we're going to transition to what we call rapid dynamic questions, so kind of rapid fire questions. First one is, what are you doing self-development wise right now?
I like reading. I'm trying to read as much and as often as I can. I like how it opens my brain and makes me see things from other people's perspectives or consider things I haven't considered before, or in some ways even reinforce kind of things I previously believed. But I like reading a lot. It's therapeutic.
Yeah, love it too. Who are some key mentors that have helped you with your success?
My mom. Okay. If it wasn't for her, I would not be in health and fitness. She has really shown me what it means to be a strong woman, not just physically, but in every area. So I would definitely say my mom.
That's amazing.
Shout out to our mom too. So what are you doing currently, training and nutrition wise? Yeah, we're mama's boys.
Training, actually, I've been playing around with something past couple months, and people are going to think I'm nuts. I mean, I am lifting 6 days a week, but I will, like today, all I did was squats, and thanks to Brett Contreras, I've been playing with frog pumps. Y'all seen those? Have you done those yet for the glutes? Those are fun. Master Brett with the glute stuff. So usually it's just 1 to 2 key exercises. Like tomorrow, I'll probably do some overhead pressing and some pull-ups. But I just kind of like doing a little something most days. It helps keep me focused, and it helps me release stress and some of my anxiety. And plus, my garage is in my gym, so I just, I walk in there. But that's the training. I've been trying to get a little bit stronger, training a bit more for strength than I have in the past few years. Nutrition is pretty much like it's always been, just very simple, very, very basic, mostly real foods, protein, and enjoyable stuff I want on occasion, and I don't freak out about it. I don't worry about it. It is what it is.
Got it. So what do you like to do for fun?
I like anything outdoors this time of year. I will hike, we will bike, we will go kayaking. I like going to new places and doing wine tasting. We did some cider tasting. I don't drink a lot. It makes it sound like I drink a lot, but I physically can't. I am a lightweight. We go to wine tastings, and I'm loopy off of a wine tasting. It's hilarious, but it's fun. So anything active, like this time of year, I'll be outside as much as I can. So
yeah. So now you got to tell us what your favorite wine is.
I like where was it? Somewhere they described them as big ass chewy reds. Like I like full-bodied red wine.
Okay.
Like when you swirl it on the glass, you can see it just taking its time. That kind of stuff. Love it. Like carnivore. A bottle of carnivore is kind of if I need to grab something quick, that's the one I'll go to.
Yeah.
And that stuff it looks like it's nice. Go get it.
What are you most grateful for right now?
I'm grateful to be grateful for a lot. Everybody I love is alive and healthy, and well, I have lost some people. That sounded terrible. But the people I love are healthy, alive, and it's fall. Oh my goodness, I love fall. I'm very grateful for fall. I don't do summer well. I don't like heat. I don't like humidity. So fall and health.
All right. So Chris and I just wrote a new book right here, which is called The New Era of Fitness. So my question is, do you feel we are in a new era of fitness currently?
Oh my, that's a good question. I think there needs to be a new era of fitness. I think there is a demand for it. I think now more than ever we do need to go in that way that is not what we see on infomercials and all of this. You can look just like me and 5 minutes a day, and all you have to do is starve yourself and you'll get there, buddy. All of that crap I think needs to go away. So I think we need a new era of fitness, and I think some people such as yourselves are showing people that. So I think it's definitely needed, and I do see the movement with a lot of really good coaches. So I think it'll just take, I guess a better way to say is the general population, the people who aren't listening to this podcast or reading your book or reading our material and stuff, the people that are still stuck in those fads and still buying into a lot of the gimmicks, hopefully they will get filtered into this stuff. You know, that's the only thing that I can hope for. Is it's easier to reach some people who are already curious about a different way. But some people, unfortunately, still think that things have to be complicated and time-consuming and grueling and miserable. It'll take them a while to come over, but I really think that hopefully at some point, you know, the dam will open and people will see that a lot of that stuff is just crap.
Yeah.
Again, long answer, but it was a good question.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Great answer.
Yeah. So the last question that we leave our guest is basically, what does it mean to Nia Shanks to live a dynamic lifestyle?
I had an answer and I actually forgot. Oh, son of a...
This is good. It's on the go now.
It is, and it's me drawing a blank is just absolutely fantastic. You know, I'll just... It's kind of the message I try to live, that I try to tell other people is, and this is probably not answering your question at all, but owning who you are, owning where you're at. If you know you still have a long way to go to get any of your goals, that's fine, but you need to own where you're at right now. Take responsibility, take control, and start inching yourself closer to whatever outcome you want to get to. But more importantly, find a way to enjoy the process, find a way, especially with health and fitness, to make it a part of who you are, part of your lifestyle, instead of just some kind of miserable process. And again, that didn't answer your question at all.
That's okay. I still liked it. It was very well said. So yeah, thank you so much.
Later in the day, my brain is a little off, so sorry about that.
Okay, Nia. So where can our audience find you and your work?
NiaShanks.com, liftlikeagirl.com will also take you there, but that is my hub. That is where you can find everything.
Alrighty, okay. We'll plug all that in the show notes.
All right, Nia, so before we let you go, I want to personally acknowledge you, and I know this is coming from my brother right here with the big eyebrows next to me, and I just want to personally acknowledge you for your courage and for your resilience, for coming out of what you did, overcoming that adversity, and then spreading that to a bigger audience to try to help them out, paying it forward. So I really commend you for that. I think you're doing an awesome job. Keep it up, and I've been a big fan, you know, since like 5 years ago when I came across you, so really appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Stole all my words, but yeah, awesome.
Well, I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, Nia, thanks so much for your time, and we'll let you know when this is out.
All right, thank you.
Okay, have a good one.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the video. So below, I want you guys to subscribe to our community. From there, you guys can get your 2 guides on the Physique Development Guide, the Nutrition Myths Dispelled Guide, and join our community and get all access to everything else that we're giving out.